Okay, hello and welcome to today's webinar in which I will be talking about attachment styles and how they impact our personal relationship. It's now 12:30 of Eastern Standard Time, which is my time, so I'm gonna get started. Just for some logistics, the Q&A feature is enabled for you to post your questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this presentation, this webinar for you, and then I will check the Q&A at the very end. So please stay. So if you have any questions, I will be answering them all at the very end. Okay, so if you don't know much about me, my name is Dr. Denisa Millette, and I am a practicing psychologist and a professor of counseling psychology with over 23 years of clinical experience. My specialties are trauma, anxiety disorders, and women's health. I am a founder of the Safe Emotions Counseling Center, which is based in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a private practice, as well as my new baby now, the DM Coaching, which is an international platform designed to support women across the globe in creating a life worth living, especially in the aftermath of traumatic life experiences. The accent that you hear is from the Czech Republic, where I was born and raised, but I currently reside, practice, and teach predominantly in the United States. And, so if you want to know any more about me, my work, or my credentials, please visit one or both of my websites. So either the dmcoaching.life or just my first and last name, denisamilat.com. And now, without a further ado, let's jump into the presentation. So let's talk about attachment. So the word attachment refers to the deep emotional connection that we form with other people. The nature and the degree of our emotional connection stems from childhood and how bonded we were or not with our parents or primary caretakers. So the profound impact of this early life bonding with caregivers on our future relationships with other people has really been a subject of great interest and importance, not just to psychologists, but the general public, which is probably why you are here today as well. So, this formative early life period, often referred to as the attachment period, really lays groundwork for how we will perceive and engage in our relationships throughout our life. According to the attachment theory, which was first developed by John Bowlby, the nature of the bond between a very young child and their primary caregivers not only influences the child's sense of security, but also shapes their behavior and their ability to form healthy relationships as adults. Secure attachment, which occurs when caregivers are consistently responsive and attentive to a baby's needs, fosters a sense of trust and safety in the growing child. This secure base allows the child to explore the world and to develop independence while also knowing that they have a safe haven to come back to. So, as these children grow, the patterns of trust, comfort, and security in their relationship often translate into their romantic endeavors and enables them to form strong and resilient bonds with their partners. In contrast, insecure attachment style, which can really result from inconsistent neglect or intrusive caregiving, often leads to challenges in later relationships. So, in other words, if you grew up with a parents who were really tuned into your emotional and physical needs and celebrated your independence at the same time, you'll likely have developed a secure style of attachment. On the other hand, if you grew up with parents or caregivers who were less attuned to your needs, that is, they tended to be overbearing, abusive, intrusive, or just emotionally distant or detached, you likely have developed one of the insecure attachment styles. So let's look at four different types of attachments that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to talk about secure attachment. We're going to talk about anxious preoccupied attachment, dismissive avoidant attachment, and fearful avoidant attachment. So let's look at them one by one. So the secure attachment is really the foundation of healthy relationships. So individuals who have a secure attachment are present, they are safe, comfortable, and consistent. They tend to have a very positive view of themselves and their partners. They feel comfortable with intimacy. There's not much anxiety within the relationship. They sort of balance intimacy and independence within their relationship. They are often characterized by their resilience, their ability to cope with rejection, but also their capacity to form deep and enduring relationships. So on the slide, as you see, present, safety, being comfortable and consistent, doesn't really get too upset about misunderstanding. It openly gives, receives laughs and affection. Is an active listener with assertive communication skills. All of these are signs of secure attachment. So, interestingly, in terms of brain functioning, there is a really good flow of energy and information between the left and right hemisphere. Okay, moving on to the anxious preoccupied attachment style is all about really seeking validation. So, those with an anxious preoccupied attachment style often seek high levels of intimacy, approval, and responsiveness from their partners. They may tend to be clingy, seeking constant reassurance. They may have a less positive view of themselves and really may doubt their worthiness to be loved. So this attachment style can then lead to a heightened need for validation and also a fear of abandonment. People with this attachment style can also experience jealous feelings towards their partner's friendships or other relationships. They can also be quite manipulative or may seek reassurance through manipulation, can withdraw or threaten to withdraw from the partner when the conflicts arise. They tend to mistreat emotional cues and also exaggerate even minor misunderstandings, which then become significant conflict. In terms of parenting, people with anxious preoccupied style tend to sort of practice on again, off again parenting, sometimes intrusive with no boundaries, and yet very self absorbed and inconsistent. So, in terms of brain functioning with this attachment style, we're looking at being oriented to the right hemisphere, which kind of explains the frequent emotional flooding. Okay, moving on to the dismissive avoidant style. So, this one we kind of refer to as the lone wolf. So, these individuals are kind of aloof and emotionally detached. They often maintain a sense of independence and self sufficiency. They may avoid close relationships, intimacy, really kind of preferring to keep other people at arm's length. In other words, they are really emotionally unavailable and they are reluctant to deeply engage with other people. They don't want to share. And while they may have a really good sense of self-sufficiency and independence, they struggle with recognizing and expressing their emotions. So they lack a sense of belonging. They prefer not to share. They prefer not to commit. In terms of parenting style with this attachment, we often see rejection, being unresponsive, and not emotionally tuned to the needs of their children. And interestingly enough, in terms of brain functioning, we see an orientation towards the left hemisphere. So really kind of focused on the future, very logical, but again, little or no emotional attunement. And then the last one that we're going to talk about is the fearful avoidant, sometimes called anxious avoidant, which is really kind of conflicted and cautious. So this style is characterized by a complex mix of avoidance and dependence. So these individuals tend to desire close relationship, but then they have a very strong fear of getting hurt. They often find themselves in kind of like a love-hate relationship with intimacy. craving closeness, but feeling scared of it all at the same time. So they tend to worry about their partner's love and commitment, while at the same time they are uncomfortable being too close. In terms of parenting style, a lot of times we see behaviors like punishing, shaming, confusing behaviors, confusing messages, up to all the way up to abusive parenting. So, this style, in terms of brain functioning, in this style, it seems that the amygdala, which is the fear perception or threat perception center in the brain, the amygdala, is kind of stuck in the past traumatic experiences. And the person oftentimes has this internalized, scared, frozen sense of self. So, what's very important though is number one, as you can probably tell by now, the impact of these attachment styles is really extends beyond, way beyond just romantic relationships. It affects friendships, family dynamics, parenting, and even workplace interactions. Most people have a primary attachment style, but many people have traits from other styles. So it could be a combination or mix of few different styles. However, the good news is that the attachment style that's formed in early childhood is actually not static and can be influenced and changed by subsequent life experiences and relationships. So, positive interactions with peers, mentors, and romantic partners can help reshape insecure attachment style towards more secure patterns of relating. So, in other words, people with insecure attachment style can become more secure by adopting new beliefs and new behaviors. So, the hope for change. So, I want to be very clear about the fact that the interplay between early attachment and future interpersonal relationship is actually quite complex. But because it involves not only the internal working models that people developed about themselves, but also the external influences that alter these perceptions over time. So to kind of sum it up, the bonds that we form with our caregivers in the early stages of life are more than just source of comfort and immediate comfort, but they are more like building blocks of our future capacity for love and intimacy with other people. So when we acknowledge and address the effects of these early experiences, we can work towards more fulfilling and enduring adult relationships. We can recognize patterns in our behaviors. We can learn to manage our emotional responses and communicate more effectively with other people. So, whether you are a secure person or find yourself leaning towards one of the insecure attachment style, just remember that change is possible. And with effort, anyone can really develop much healthier and more fulfilling relationships. So let's look at some tips and guidance to help you on this journey towards healthier attachment style. So number one, most important thing is understand your attachment style. Reflect on your past relationships and identify patterns in your behavior. Are you anxious when someone gets too close? Or do you tend to push people away? What are your boundaries? um, Understanding these tendencies is like the first step towards the change that you would be making. Seek therapy or even coaching. So, a therapist or trauma informed coach can help you identify and explore some of these roots of your attachment style that may be affecting your relationship now in adulthood. So, for example, if you are anxious, you really need to work on learning how to accept that you may be wired towards emotional reactivity and sensitivity, and be kind to yourself as opposed to judge yourself. You may need to learn to name your feelings and express them openly to your partner rather than mind reading what they might be thinking or rehearsing mentally what you want to say next. You may work on writing down your feelings for yourself or perhaps to share with your partner later. creating time and space between any kind of arising issue and your sense of urgency to solve it. Really giving yourself space to reflect on what is really happening in that situation. Working with my avoidant clients, I found that they need to first learn to identify their emotions and feelings and actually practice naming them and sharing them with their partner or other people that they want to be close with. They need to learn to say yes to situations that they might be inclined to avoid, such as going out as a couple or socializing with other people. They need to learn healthy conflict resolution. Again, taking a minute to reflect and then discussing what's happening rather than avoiding or somehow delaying this conversation. The next skill, really building self-awareness. Again, paying attention to your emotional responses and triggers in relationship so that you can understand why you are reacting the way you do and how to handle these emotions more effectively. Communicating openly. So practice expressing your thoughts and your feelings openly and honestly with other people. I know it can be very challenging to be open and vulnerable, but it is truly necessary if you want to have healthy relationships. Being mindful and present with other people, actually be there, be able to or learn how to set boundaries, really healthy boundaries in your relationship. So that means saying no when necessary and respecting your own needs and your own values while at the same time also respecting the boundaries of other people. Okay, some more tips. So patience. Be patient with yourself. Developing a secure attachment style takes time. So on this journey, if you're gonna go on this journey, there are gonna be likely some setbacks. But hopefully they're gonna be further in between, and there's gonna be less of them. But expect setbacks and be very patient with yourself. Foster healthy relationships. So please surround yourself with people who support and encourage your growth and your healing in your journey, and who really can help foster your sense of belonging and security. Avoid all other types of relationship as much as possible. I know it's not always possible, especially with some family members, but as much as you can, surround yourself with people who are really truly there for you. Um, Remember that feedback is a gift. So we've been talking a lot about practicing really open and honest conversation and being vulnerable. So that also means really being open to feedback about how you're doing, how your behavior is, right? And really encouraging you to embrace feedback from significant others in your life so that you can understand and improve your attachment style. Self-compassion, this goes along with being patient, right? Practice self-compassion. Really learn to be kind to yourself, accepting to yourself, because self-compassion is what truly help us cope with negative emotions and help us build more self-confidence and positive self-view. Remember when we talked about the secure attachment style, one of the characteristics for people with secure attachment style is a sense of confidence and a very positive view of themselves. So this is how we cultivate that with self-compassion. Embracing new experiences. So new experiences, especially those that are challenging and that actually put you out of your comfort zone, really help you learn and grow. And also show you that you can rely on yourself in different situations. And also the visualization techniques and meditation practices. So I'm a big fan of meditation and visualization practices. There is a ton of research out there really showing the changes that occur in the brain when we are consistent with these practices. And I was sharing with you with each attachment style that there are certain processes that take place in your brain with each of these different styles. So learning visualization techniques and meditation practices really come to help you foster feelings of safety and independence and comfort and acceptance in the healing attachment wounds from early childhood. I actually have a couple of these that I recorded for my clients on YouTube. One of them is called Reworking Childhood Shame. And the other one is the safe space meditation. And if you just go on YouTube and just put my name on there, it's going to pop up. There's just a few videos that, like I said, I recorded for some of my clients to use. So please feel free to use those for yourself as well. But remember, the most important thing here too is consistency. Consistency is key. Be consistent in all of these practices. Follow these tips. Be consistent in your efforts to to build and maintain your personal relationships. I know it can be very challenging, but keep working on it. Don't give up just because there might be setbacks. Keep on talking about it. Keep on working on it. Most important thing. So really, to wrap it up, remember, developing secure attachment style is the process that really involves self-reflection, patience, and persistence. With the right tools, with the right knowledge and support, you can cultivate much healthier relationships that are both really fulfilling for you and enduring. So try to keep these tips in mind as you work towards more secure attachment and really a better future in terms of your personal connection. Now, if you would like some help with creating some actionable steps towards understanding, but also developing healthier attachment styles, such as, learning how to set boundaries and how to communicate your needs effectively and how to manage stress and negative thought patterns that really kind of contribute to these attachment issues, or even how to just cultivate calmer, more secure approach to a relationship, I do have some opportunities for you. So if you are in the state of Georgia, you obviously could work with me personally within psychotherapy, within my practice. But if you're not and you're somewhere else in the world and would like some support, I would encourage you to visit my coaching platform, which is the DM coaching, because there are opportunities, number one, for one-on-one coaching directly with me, but also there are other free webinars. And most importantly, there is the Her Journey membership, which is for ladies only. But it is a community where we learn together. I do monthly masterclasses followed by live Q&As. And I think this particular last one that I just recorded and put on there in the members library was on setting and cultivating personal boundaries. And I'm actually going to be doing a live Q&A on that particular masterclass next Saturday. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And then, of course, there is a big community where we connect and discuss and share within a private community forum. And we're working on growing this community and trying to have as many members in it as possible. So I would love to have you there as well. So the website again is dmcoaching.live. If you have any questions, please email me. It's just info@denisamillette.com. You can also kind of stay tuned and inform about what we're doing next, in terms of webinars, presentations, events, workshops on a Facebook page where I post all these events that are happening. And that is about it. I'm going to peek really quickly into the Q&A, see if there's anything there. Okay, I don't see any questions in Q&A, but I know this was a lot of information coming at once. So think about it, reflect on it. You know where to find me if you do have any questions. And otherwise, I just want to thank you for being here and attending the webinar, this presentation. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you will all be working on developing secure attachment style. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.